Oh boy, this is gonna be a not very fun retrospective to talk about. Oh boy. Hello guys, Cartoon Retro Boy here, or greetings everyone. Um, oh boy, I am not in a good mood today. I mean, not a good mood right now because I have to talk about the Dark Era seasons of Loud House. Why I sound like this is because these have some of my least favorite episodes the show has ever produced. And my bottom 5 of the show is mostly season 4 episodes. And I'm not gonna waste any, and I'm gonna give you guys an introduction first because I didn't do that in my last retrospective part. So, here you go. You think after the movie you think that I should have talked about the movie after season 4? I was like, heck nah. The reason why I didn't talk about the movie is because I didn't want to review the movie in the Dark Era retrospective. Because the reason why is because I don't think it belongs in the I don't think it belongs in that retrospective, honestly. I think it deserves to be in the mid. It feels like it does deserve to be in the Golden Era, and sort of like a send-off to the Golden Era of Loud House, because it feels more like season 1 through 3 than season 4 onwards. So sorry to say that, honestly, because it doesn't have any of the characters it doesn't have any of Lincoln's friends, and it feels like more like season 3 it feels more on par with season 3 than season 4 to me. So yeah, that's the reason. But man, this is gonna be a rough retrospective because some of my least favorite episodes of the entire show are in these seasons, including the worst episode of the entire show, Kings of the Con, which is the worst special of the entire show. And honestly, this season is gonna drive me nuts because so many episodes in these seasons are just the definition of not good. And I'm sorry, but these seasons generally kind of made me mad. I'm not saying that the season it completely fails of good episodes, but when you have a season that honestly sucks, then you know you're in trouble, honestly. And unfortunately, season 4 and 5 are the examples that we're talking about in this video. So sorry if it sounds like I'm going to be so negative this retrospective part, but I generally hate season 4 and 5. They are definitely bottom of the barrel of this entire show. And they might just be as bad as from season 6 and 7, and 12 and 13, which are the seasons I hate the most out of any show, honestly. But that's for another video. But anyway, let's just get this but at least today we'll end off with a good note with season 6, which will be a mid-season that honestly is mid. But at least it has less bad episodes, at least. Even if it has all the good episodes and bad episodes are tied up together, honestly. So, yeah, this is not going to be a very fun retrospective for me, though. So, oh boy, I'm not excited to review a lot of these episodes because these seasons have so many bad episodes in there. So, let's just get started with this retrospective because forgive me if I get my anger out in this retrospective, but it's because I just hate season 4 and 5 generally, and I really hate these seasons. They are the bottom of the barrel of this entire show. I know I said that many times, but these are definitely the worst ones. And they are comparable to Spun Season 6 and 7 for me, where they're both similar, but they are just as bad as the other, honestly. So, forgive me if I'm going to sound very angry, and I'm sorry, okay? So, let's just get this retrospective going, because I really don't want to talk about this. This is the only retrospective that I'll get the most angry with, honestly. So, get ready to hear me some ranting about it. Ugh, boy. Season 4. Oh boy. Okay, before I tear into this pile of dog pile, I will just say this. At least you're better than SpongeBob Season 6 or Fairy Odd Parents Season 10, known as the two worst seasons of any show history, honestly. I just don't get this season, honestly. I seriously do not get what is this season's biggest problem. Maybe it's the writing, maybe it's the characters, maybe it's the just jokes in general. But I think the biggest problem is it's that it feels so slapdash and slow paced, and it has some of the most boring material the show has ever done. The most frustrating material the show has ever done. A lot of these episodes feel like they just want you to just keep watching and keep watching and keep watching. Even though you don't want to watch those episodes. It just, yeah. I don't want to sound negative during this retrospective, but this is the only season I generally hated, honestly. It has so many bad episodes. Like, if you guys want to know, like, how about this? Let's just split the season into separate sections. Let's talk about the season. Let's talk about the season chart. This season has 24 bad episodes, 13 good episodes, and 13 okay episodes. Wow, I am speechless. I thought SpongeBob Season 6 was bad, but this is just as bad as that, and Fairy Odd Parents Season 10, of course. But man, this season is my third least favorite season of any show in general. I am dead serious. It is, by definition, a 1 out of 10. Number 3 in my bottom 5 of any show, bottom seasons of my favorite shows. This season really was rough in rock bottom for sure. This season feels so undercooked, so underdeveloped, so underused, so underbaked, so not inspiring. It feels useless. It is dreadful to watch. I am not kidding. When I was rewatching the show since March, and when I got to this season, I was dreading to watch half of these episodes because I knew they were bad. But man, watching some of these episodes got way worse on rewatch than I actually thought. Kings of the Con was not originally my bottom 5 of the season, but Kings of the Con might just be my least favorite episode of the entire show, by a decent margin. I know I'm not usually a fan of episodes where I know a lot of people would say, oh, that episode has a cool action sequence. That was the only thing that redeems it from being absolute trash. But it is a 0. That episode is a 0 out of 10. It's literally a number 3 in my bottom 5 of any show in general. Because this is definitely the worst Loud House episode to me, honestly. The worst one the show has ever produced. The worst special the show has ever produced. Has so many things that I hate about it. And overall feels like a complete waste of time. At least Schooled from season 5 at least had something better than an action sequence. Schooled may be terrible and my second least favorite episode of the entire show in general, but man, this one, man, it has so many plot holes, has so much critics in it, and I absolutely hate this episode, honestly. I'm dead serious. When I watched this episode on first airing, I thought it was one of the worst things that the show has ever produced. I'm not joking. Rewatching it now, it may be just as bad as True for Square. Yeah, I think this might be the definitive True for Square of Loud House, honestly. A special that avoids being fun and being creative. A special that literally feels like a ratings trap that honestly the show has never done before. And I'm dead serious when I say it that this rivals True for Square in my opinion as one of the worst specials that this any show in general. Because at least you know what, I'll give this to True for Square. I'll give this to True for Square. The different art styles and the songs are generally really good. But with Kings of the Con, I cannot name. I think this might be worse than True for Square. At least True for Square had different art styles and also had good musical numbers. But besides that, that episode also flopped. But Kings of the Con of all episodes generally is the worst episode of the show history. I'm not saying that this is the worst episode of any cartoon history, because that would be a real understatement, because I hate Choir Boys from SpongeBob more, but this is one of the worst written things that of any show ever. It literally has so many plot holes, so many writing consistencies, so many things that honestly drive me up a wall. I am dead serious. This is the only Loud House episode I generally hated as a kid. I hate now, honestly, and this might be the episode that honestly made me physically angry. Physically angry. Up there with School too. School is also my least favorite episode of the entire show. But again, again, again. These two episodes are the perfect example of why the show fell off around season 4 and never returned to quality until season 7 of all things. Which was not a bad season, but honestly okay and closer to season 1's quality. But seriously, this is all you got? Honestly, guys, I am dead serious when I say that both School and Kings of the Con are the worst episodes that the show has ever produced. Like, both episodes have their fair share of problems, but Kings of the Con takes the cake for me. It has everything that makes this might be the worst Ace Sabi episode of the entire show. The worst the worst superhero episode of the entire show, the worst special of the entire show, and the worst written one in the entire show. And I'm sorry to say this, but man, season 4 sure. Because season 4 sure makes me want to. Sure, season 4 sure likes to be showing off right now. Because really, I could just say frick off to the season and I can literally say nothing can change. Because really, this season sucks. It really sucks. I know I just been 8 minutes ranting about season 4 so far, but I can't hold my anger back from this season. Because really, this is the worst season of Loud House in general. It's literally the worst one that the show has ever produced. It avoids being creative. It avoids being. I'm sorry to say, but no. Oh my god. Great, I can't even record because now I have to do something else now. Okay, back to what I was saying right now. Season 4, man, is just atrocious and has so many writing issues and so many bad writing and so many boring episodes and frustrating episodes. It overall as a season, I think this blows, honestly, as a season. It has so many things that I hate about it. Nothing about this season honestly makes me happy. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all really redeems it from being absolute bottom of the barrel of any show, honestly. I gotta say, Even though Spawn Season 6 may be the one I hate the most out of any show, but Lighthouse Season 4 is just third in place behind Fair Odd Parents Season 10 and Spawn Season 6 in general. I'm sorry to say, but man, Season 4 really stunk. Honestly, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna say this right now. Let me just give you the big three reasons why I absolutely hate Season 4 of Loud House in general. First of all, the characters. Now, they are pretty tamed in this season, but I noticed that they're going worse and worse after time. They're getting more boring to write. Most of their episodes are pretty stale. Some of I think this season has some of the worst appearances of any of characters. Number two is linking torture. Yes, this season likes to torture linking so many god dang much. And so is season 5 actually. Because both seasons have Lincoln getting tortured for no reason, and I don't know why. Again, I have no idea what the reason was. Is it because Nickelodeon keeps forcing the writers to make Lincoln torture episodes? Like, seriously, this is getting tiring by this point. I thought we were already done with this in season 2 already, or 3. But for some reason, season 4 and 5 is where the Lincoln torture episodes get worser and worser. And so is season 6, actually. Season 6 also had Lincoln torture episodes. I'm sorry to say, but man, this season really stunk. Like, and you know what's the third reason why I hate the season? The writing. The writing in the season blows. A lot of characters feel underdeveloped. A lot of characters feel like they're rushed out the door for no reason. Most of the siblings are mostly boring as heck in this season. And overall, linking torture also is the main reason why season 4 is the bottom of the barrel. Because the Dark Era has so many Lincoln torture episodes, especially in season 5. And I think I think that's mostly one of the biggest problems that this era has suffered through. But don't get this twisted. I still think season 4 has good episodes and okay episodes, but 13 good episodes and okay episodes are not going to save the season from being bottom of the barrel. I'm sorry to say that. That's not saving much this season, honestly. I could confidently say this season is getting the ranking of a 1 out of 10. Number 3 in my bottom 5 of my least favorite seasons of any show in general. Sorry, Lighthouse Season 4, but you are too terrible to even watch anymore. And I'm so thankful after rewatching the show that I won't be able to watch this season ever again, because honestly, this season blows and I don't like it anymore. I really don't like this season at all. Even as a kid, I didn't like this season either. But I think rewatched it now, it got way worse over time. All right, you're probably wondering what's my bottom 5 of the season. Let's just get this out of the way so I can talk about the next season, and also talk about some of the things that. And let's just get with the bottom 5 of the season. Number 5. Number 5 is "Don't You Forget About Me." Overall, it's just the worst episode. It's overall the worst Lenny episode of the entire show. It's one way to get Lenny character wrong, but this episode really stunk for Lenny, honestly. Which I was hoping season 4 would be improvement for Lenny, because honestly, her season 3 outings were really good. But it seems like in this season, she really took a nosedive for some reason. And I hated that, honestly. Now, what's number 4, you might be asking? Well, it's actually a bad episode that I absolutely hate as well. A grave mistake. This episode is just the animal abuse episode. Like, it's the disrespectful to animals episode, honestly. I'm not joking, I'm not elaborating. This episode is literally that episode that honestly just kills my enjoyment of it. As a kid, I thought this episode was dark and I didn't like this episode. As someone who doesn't own a pet at all, this might be offensive to pet owners, honestly. And I'm pretty sure I wish that this episode was the reason why this show got worse over time. I think the first half of season 4 was tamed, but the second half is where the bad episodes really got worse and worse, starting with Kings of the Con, of course. But man, this season sure likes to do a lot of bad episodes that it drives me nuts. Like, I'm sorry, but this season overall is the worst of the worst. But you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go to the. Let's move on to the bottom. Let's move on to number 3 on the list, and Pimple Plan, which is the most grossest episode the show has ever done. It is disgusting, gross, and kind of cringeworthy. It's cringeworthy. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's overall gross. I hate this Lulan episode. And honestly, this might be the worst Lulan episode of the entire show. So sorry to say, but this episode also stunk. Now let's get into the bottom 2, because these are the 2 worst episodes of the entire. Oh great! Now I have to stop the video just to do this other thing again. Okay, back to what I was saying. Number 2 is Friends in Dry Places. The most predictable episode the show has ever done. It's contrived, predictable, boring, and linking torture is the worst thing you can do in an episode like this. And yeah, it's overall bad. And number 1 is Kings of the Con. Generally the worst episode of the show in general. The worst special of the entire show. The worst paced episode of the entire show. The worst. It's just the worst of the worst. It's literally the worst of the worst. School may be bad and might be my second least favorite episode of the entire show. But man, I was not looking forward to Kings of the Con again. Rewatching this episode back as a teenager now, this might be the worst episode of the shows in general. Yes, even worse than No Such Luck. Honestly, No Such Luck may be a bad episode from season 2, but still brought in the family too, actually. But man, this one sucks way worse than those 2, honestly, in my opinion. This special has so many problems. Like, the critics alone is what really kills this episode. The Lau sisters are getting way too much attention in this episode. And Lincoln and Clyde are not as bad as people say they are, but they are definitely not very likable in this episode. And they definitely did not need to. And I think I just ended up feeling bad for them, honestly, in this episode, honestly. And the ending really kills the episode for me, because they get to just be in the movie, but they just have to be with a stupid cat that it acts in the climax. Thankfully, what saves it from being a 0 and not in my... Thankfully, what saves it from being a 0, though, is the action sequence. That's generally the best scene of the episode, and one of the best scenes of any of the specials, honestly. But it's a shame that the whole special is still a 1 out of 10. Literally number 3 in my bottom 5 of my favorite cartoons. And that's it. That's all I have to say about That's all I have to say about my bottom five. I generally can't tell if my bottom 15 are the worst episodes of the entire show, or is that because Nickelodeon doesn't give a crap about the show anymore? Wouldn't it kill you to actually do good episodes the more than 3 seconds? Sorry if I sorry if I sounded like Luke Vaughn for a second. Honestly, I sound like Luke Vaughn right there. But still, also I think that that it will begin more mean spirited in season 5, which will also be not very fun to talk about. Enough ranting for right now. Let's just get into my top 5 so I can end off this season with a final goodbye. Okay, so let's just end off reviewing these seasons because I am really getting let's just get off reviewing this season so I can get in my top 5 honestly because like I said before, I have literally nothing to say about this season honestly. I really don't. I really want to just get to the next season so badly right now because I am almost done talking about season 4, but I need to talk about my top 5. I want to get the season done honestly because oh my god, I really hate this season so much. I just really do. I really do. Okay? Let's just get into my top 5. Number 5, Brave the Last Brave the Last Dance. Number 4, Single Out. Number 3, Leader of the Rack. Number 2, a dark and a story night. And number 1 is Good Sports. Easily the best. These are easily the best episodes of the entire show. Not best episodes of the entire show, but easily really good episodes, and definitely can. But the only ones I think that are honestly above a 10 are good 10 out of 10s are probably the top 3 because season 4 unfortunately has the audacity to have 4 1 out of 10 episodes compared to the 10 out of 10 episodes. So this makes season 4 kind of weaker than the other seasons in overall. And I am so thankful. I'm actually done. Almost done reviewing the season because this is literally the worst season of the entire show and has the worst episode. And has literally the worst special and episode of the entire show. But don't worry, we're not out of the dumpster fire yet because we still have to talk about season 5, which is terrible, and then season 6, which is mid. So, I'm just gonna get season 5 started because I am done reviewing season 6. Honestly, season 4. Honestly, sorry. Oh boy, I'm not ready for season 5 because it's gonna get more mean spirited than this season. Honestly, so I'm gonna see you guys for season 5. I'm just gonna take some breathing exercises before I get into that season, honestly, because it's the most infamous one of the entire show. Alright, let's get this season 5 started. Okay, now we're on to season 5, the most infamous season of the entire show. In a way, this is just as infamous as SpongeBob Season 7 to people, honestly. But not as bad, though. I heard some people actually think it's not as bad as SpongeBob Season 7, though. But, oh boy, Season 5 of Loud House is certainly a season that exists. Remember when I said that Season 4 was the worst season of the show? Well, Season 5 would be a very close second. I'm aware that that's not a huge leap and upgrade, but I'll take what I can get. Season 4 was filled with episodes that made me feel frustrated and honestly feel frustrated a lot. Season 5, meanwhile, is filled with episodes that make me so bored out of my mind. I know, and this season has 3 specials, and one of them is a TV movie this time. Interesting. Now, you're probably wondering though about if I should talk about if I'm talking about season 5, should I talk about the TV movie first or the specials first? Well, actually, before I get into the specials, we'll talk about the characters this season, the oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the animation of season 4 kind of looks more cheap, kind of looks more exaggerated. Honestly, I feel like this is where the show was kind of getting to an exaggerated phase. Honestly, because a lot of the wacky face, I think it looks more stiffer than honestly anything. And I forgot to mention that in like season 4 section is that season 4's animation looks very stiff to me, and I think season 5 and 6 also do the same animation style where it's very stiff looking. Honestly, it looks not as great as season 2 and 3. Honestly, thankfully in season 7 the animation gets a little bit better because honestly I think I prefer when they are more expressive and stuff instead of being so stiff looking. But but we'll get to season 7 when we get there because I'm more excited to talk about season 7 than I am to talk about season 5 and 6, honestly, because they're kind of exactly the same, honestly. Though season 6 is slightly better than both season 4 and 5, honestly, but it's still mid. But wait, did I just spoil my rating of season 6? Oh boy, that's not gonna be very fun. But let's just talk about the season chart. So season 5 has 20 has 22 bad episodes. That's a little bit better than the last season, but still not good. 14 okay episodes and 11 good episodes. And if I'm being honest, this season seems like the good episodes are getting lower this time. Now 13 now compared to season 4 where I feel like the good episodes this time were a little bit better than season 4, but still not great, honestly. Not amazing. And just like season 4, the 1 out of 10 episodes really beat out the 10 out of 10 episodes this time. So both this season and season 4 are stuck in a limbo where both seasons have 1 out of 10s and just has literally has 3 10 out of 10s in this entire season, honestly. Both seasons have a similar thing where they only have 3 10 out of 10s and 4 1 out of 10s. So that means that both seasons are pretty dang bad. But we're not talking about season 4 right now. We're talking about season 5. So, let's just get into let's talk about the characters overall. This season is a mixed bag of is a mixed bag when it comes to characters because I can tell they're trying to more focus on Lincoln and his friends, honestly, in this season than the sisters. And it feels like the school's set it feels like the school setting is more used in this season, honestly, than any other. It feels like SpongeBob season 7, where they only use a few locations and that's it. And I think the school was the most used out of the entire season, honestly. I know that sounds like I'm just being a little too, I guess I could say, observant of season 5, but it seems like season 5 just likes to more do the school setting than any other location. And not gonna lie, it gets tiring after a while. We don't have that much new locations this time. We have the Loud House family. We have the Loud House family, thing. We have Sometimes Downtown. We do have Royal Woods in the season, but it feels like a lot of the we don't visit a lot of locations this time. It feels like the school setting is the most used out of the entire season, honestly. Reminds me a lot of how SpongeBob Season 5 and Season 7 has a similar or actually no. SpongeBob Season 4 through 9A had a similar problem of using the Krusty Krab as the basis of episodes, honestly. Using them way too much in the season, honestly. And not gonna lie, it got tiring after a while in Season 6 through 9A of SpongeBob. And I should mention this as well, but honestly, it feels like the characters are getting more downgrade than I think they're getting a little bit better than season 4. But man, there was a lot of mean spirited towards this season. Honestly, even season 4 didn't have much mean spirited humor. Honestly, I can tell that they were trying to. I think this will continue in season 6 when I get to that season. So yeah, this is not gonna be very fun. Yeah, there's a lot of mean spiritedness in the season. Honestly, mean spirited humor, and I don't like it. Honestly, it makes you feel bad for some characters that get mortally not deserved for their actions and stuff, and especially Lincoln because he gets the worst in the premiere of the season called Schooled, which is in Lori too, because this is the special. I heard this is the special that made Yoshi Player, which I know I have watched his every episode of Loud House reviews, and I heard that this was the episode that caused him to stop watching the show in general. This episode, which honestly, that's kind of a. I can see why because I can definitely think this is definitely my second least favorite episode of the entire show. But saying it's the thing that caused you to stop watching the show is kind of crazy to me. I know Yoshi Player is like a YouTuber, and he's the same person who also said Sponge on a Run was the worst SpongeBob movie, but then he regretted his saying that because saying Steven Bikini Bottom was worser than that. But still, and no, I'm not gonna get into the spin-offs this time. The spin-offs of Loud House, because I'm not gonna talk about that crappy live action spin-off that I really don't like. I fell asleep one time watching one of them, and I was so bored out of my mind. It reminded me a lot of Camp Coral for some reason in the Patrick Star Show. Actually, no, that's not a good comparison. I actually like Patrick Star's show, and Camp Coral is decent to me, honestly. But I think this show, the Really Loud House, is kind of just lame to me, and I don't like it, honestly. Not gonna lie. I'm glad it got canceled after 2 seasons, honestly, because honestly, I would not suffer. I would not survive a third season, honestly, of this show, of the spinoff, because we had literally a live action Fairy Odd Parents show that already existed in 2022, and thankfully that show also got canceled because honestly, I hated that live action spinoff, but still. Anyway, okay. Let's see, what else can I say about season 5? Oh yeah, the writing honestly in this season. Oh boy. It's like season 4 all over again where the writing feels very rushed and feels uninspired and it feels like a lot of these episodes feel half-baked and stuff. But this time it feels like the writers were just like the Nickelodeon was just, not giving like two rats about the writers because it seems like they were rushing out episodes because they were just like in a pressure. Honestly, they were pressuring the writers, and I think that this season also suffers from being mostly boring. Honestly, because as it is, it's the most boring season of the Loud House. Honestly, it's right next to SpongeBob season 7 in my opinion, where it's so boring that it's honestly very not good. Honestly, and it's really bad. I wouldn't say it's as bad as boring. It's not as boring as SpongeBob season 7, but still, it's not very good. It's still boring as heck, honestly. But again, if I was forced to watch either of these seasons, I would prefer the former, Loud House season 5, because at least Loud House season 5 has better episode quality, honestly. Even if they're both 3 out of 10s for me. I still prefer Loud House season 5 over SpongeBob season 7 in my opinion. I mean, if I was gonna go in the and also I should mention is that this season feels like the most SpongeBob episodes quality, honestly. And yeah, it's not. And fun fact, the TV movie of the season feels like Atlantis. It feels like the True for Square or Atlantis Square of the Loud House franchise, where it doesn't feel like it should have been a 44-minute episode. I understand that Nickelodeon wanted to make a season 5 premiere feel grand and big, but honestly, making the writers make this slop is honestly the worst thing you can do with an episode. And Schoolwood is literally my second least favorite episode of the entire show, right next to Kings of the Con. I'll give this to School, though. At least that the ending doesn't make me. At least the episode doesn't have something that really ticks me off about it. But it's still Lincoln torture and Lori torture, and it feels like a lot of the plots, a lot of the subplots in this episode, it just no, and it makes you feel bad for Lincoln and Lori, honestly. And usually Lori was kind of unlikable in season 1, and then season 2 through 4, she got better as a character, honestly. But again, again and again and again, I have said this before, that if a character gets tortured for no reason whatsoever, it's gonna really tick me off. It's gonna get me upset. Uh, I mean, or no, not tortured, bothered by, or getting just you know, not getting what he not what he or she does not deserve. I know it sounds like I'm being a little negative, but is there anything I can else say about season 5 that also kind of doesn't save the season? Honestly, oh yeah, let's talk about the humor this time. It feels more cartoony, and I don't like it, honestly. I thought in season 4 it was also cartoony, but yeah, this is where I think the show got more cartoony, because, or actually no, season 6 is where the show got cartoony more, because this was the edge, this was like the calm before the storm set lit in, because season 6 will be the thing that will cause the show to get more wackier and more modern Loud House stuff. Now, there's only 3 eras of Loud House that I'm talking about this retrospective: the golden era, the dark era, and finally the modern era or Renaissance era. Because the Renaissance era, it will be. I think I'll probably hold back from doing part 3 because I'll hold back on part 3 because I'm gonna wait until season 10 finish airing, and then I'll do a retrospective on Loud House season 10, or I can do a retrospective right now on those on season 10, maybe in the future, honestly. But as it is, I might just do like season 7, 8, 9, and then 10, and then I'll talk about the other episodes at a certain point, or I can just do I'll wait until season 10 finishes halfway through, and then I'll do a retrospective on I'll do part 3, honestly, because I'm only doing part 1 and 2 for right now, and then I'll just wait until season 10 airs a few episodes, and then I'll do a whole retrospective on that, honestly. Because and also when season 9 finished airing, of course, because I'm waiting for that season to finish airing, because I'm tired of waiting, honestly, all these months for season 9 to premiere, honestly, on TV. It's driving me nuts. But anyway, um I think I think but anyways, yes, the humor this time is kind of more cartoony, honestly. And this has been happening since season 3, honestly, where the show gets more cartoony, but I think this will be noticeable in season 6 onwards, honestly, because but there's not wacky faces yet until season 6, of course, because that's when the season gets where the series gets more wackier and random and more wild and more just like crazier now, honestly. So we'll get to season 6 when we get there. But anyways, okay, I already talked about the humor. What else is to talk about the season for? Um, I think that the animation looks just as stiff as season 4 to me. So I guess that checks off the mark. But we still have a few more things to talk about. the the overall top 5 and bottom 5 of the season. Number 5, well, at least we'll talk about the top 5 first. Number 5, Animal House. It's a really sweet uh, Lana episode. I do like it, honestly. Number 4, Silence of the Lulans. It's a really fun Lincoln and Lulan team up episode, and I do like how they returned this back in season 5, honestly. It's really neat, and I do like that they returned it back. Number 3, Dream a Lily Dream. It's a great episode that has a lot of good jokes, and I do like this episode a lot. And I do recommend watching it if you're a big fan of Lily, honestly. Lily Loud. Number 2, a flip miss Carol. This is a great episode, and it's probably my favorite flip episode of the entire show, honestly. It's better than how season 4 handled it with House Flip, because that episode really sucked. But I think it's a good flip episode. And number 1 is Camped, which is the best special of season 5 to me. It's easily the best one because it has adventure with it. It has a good story. I love the characters. I love the humor, the writing, and I just love this special so much. One of my favorite specials of the entire show. Because it's just really good. It's a really good episode, and I do recommend watching it if you're a big fan of Loud House, or at least a fan of Loud House seasons, honestly. Even if season 5 may be a bad season that has a lot of stinks in it, this out of the 3 episodes in my top 5 are 10 out of 10s, and I do like these episodes. And Camped is easily the highlight of season 5 to me, so yeah, that's good. Now we have one more thing to talk about, and I'll talk about the overall season rating. And now is the bottom 5. Now, the top 5, the bottom 5 are the episodes that I absolutely hate the most out of this entire season. And these episodes are just exactly bad because they just have either bad writing, bad characters, or anything like that. And I think this season absolutely did not need to do that, honestly. So, yeah, this will be a rough bottom 5 because these episodes really suck in their own way. And I absolutely hate these seasons, so yeah, there's no saving it, honestly. There's no saving it. There's no saving that I hate these seasons and I hate these episodes, and I just absolutely hate these episodes. So, and they're also in my bottom 15 of the entire show, so yeah, that's not fun. So this will be not fun. Okay, let's just get into the bottom 5. Number 5, Appetite for Destruction. This is the worst Lily episode of the entire show. It's Lily at her worst because she's acting like this because she loves cheese so much. And she's having stomach problems because of the cheese. And I just think this episode is comparable to Patrick's tantrum from SpongeBob season 12, where it feels like the characters being unlikable for no reason whatsoever. And I think both episodes suck in their own way, but this one is worse because, well, both of them are equally as bad as the other, but this one is easily worse because and then it has an ending that really absolute, and the parents are very stupid in this episode, honestly. And Lily's only acting like this because she loves cheese so much, and she also has stomach problems if she eats cheese. So, yeah, this episode sure exists, and the ending gag of Lenny getting the stomach problems too. This is where the episode really falls in the bottom 5 for me. So yeah, not a good episode. Number 4, She's All Bat. I don't even remember Lucy in this episode is very unlikable, and Lola is the only thing I actually like in this episode personally. I don't mind Lola being in the part of the group, honestly, but This episode really shows how much Lucy can be unlikable. And this episode shows that she's very unlikable, and I don't like her in this episode, honestly. She's not a really good sister in this episode, honestly, to Lola. So, yeah, I just feel bad for Lola, honestly. Yeah. Yep. This episode certainly exists, but I don't like it, honestly. It's really bad. Anyways, let's move on. Number number 3 is No Bus for Fuss. No Fuss. This episode is just another Lincoln torture episode, honestly, or Lincoln gets bothered episode, because this episode shows how much the bullies are complete jerks, and they honestly just act like complete jerks, and they're just being so mean. The bus driver doesn't do anything about it. The parents doesn't do anything about it. This episode feels like it just feels rushed and unpolished. Definitely in number 3 spot, because it's definitely abysmal. Number 2. Number 2 is Flying Solo. Clyde in this episode makes me angry for no reason whatsoever. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Flying Solo is literally Clyde's worst episode of the entire series. So much so that this used to be one of the worst episodes that the show has ever produced for me. Even as a kid, I absolutely hated this episode, and I absolutely hated how much this episode really was. It was just so bad. I didn't like it, and overall, this episode stunk. And honestly, it makes me feel bad for Lincoln, and I don't like this episode. And as for number 1 spots, it's Schooled. Like, you knew this was coming, but Schooled is easily my second least favorite episode of the entire show. This episode sucks. I hate the pacing of it. I hate the story of it. I hate how the characters get tortured in this episode. I hate everything about it. I really do. It's really bad. The only thing that really saves this episode from being any lower than a 0 is probably the songs, but that's it. The rest of the episode is just completely pointless and filler. It's comparable to SpongeBob's Atlantis SquarePants. It might actually be worse than that episode, because at least Atlantis SquarePants actually had different art styles, songs, and other stuff like that. This one, on the other hand, does not. It doesn't have anything that makes it enjoyable at all, except for the songs, and that's it. So, sorry to say that, honestly. Easily my second least favorite episode of the entire show. And it makes me feel bad for Lori and Lincoln, so yeah, thanks a lot, Season 5, for premiering a pretty bad episode on its first airing of Season 5. Thankfully, the other specials in Season 5 are pretty tamed, honestly, and Ghost was okay, honestly, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that ends Season 5 for right now. And as for the final rating, I'll give it a 3 out of 10, because honestly, it's a boring season that has so many bad episodes, and it's just slightly better than Season 4, but still pretty bad. So that's it for Season 5, and I'll see you guys for Season 6. Alright, the final Dark Era season of the show. The thing that was leading up to this whole entire video, honestly, this whole entire retrospective, the whole entire part of this retrospective, the season that is the most wacky, the thing that started the wacky era of Loud House, the thing that has so many wacky expressions, so many visual things, visual gags, and a lot of things that this was like the calm before the storm took off. Okay, so, oh boy. Season 6. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What do we have here? Well, I'll just tell you what I have here. Now, we have the season that is not the worst season of the show, but it's clearly the most middling one, honestly. Middle of the road. I know that it sounds like I'm being already negative as already, but no, I think this season is mid, honestly. And I think it's comparable to SpongeBob Season 8 of all things, which I know that's middling, but honestly, I'm not saying this season is bad or anything, but this season kind of shows that you kind of shouldn't really do really that much with these seasons, honestly. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but season 6 is literally mediocre and kind of mid, honestly. And I'm not gonna. And I guess I can start off with saying about. I'll just talk about the. Let's talk about the characters in the season. Just like season, it's the characters don't feel that different from season 4 and 5 to me. Honestly, they feel exactly the same as those seasons. Honestly, and they feel like they're written more. They feel like they're also written not a little bit better than those seasons, but still not very great. Honestly, and yes, this season is very mean spirited, just like season 5. Unfortunately. And remember how he said in season 5 section that honestly this season will get more worser after time. We'll get this season like that season had more season 4 and 5 had more wackier expressions in season 3 too. Well, season 6, I meant sorry, not season 8 of SpongeBob. Season 6 of Loud House feels exactly the calm before the storm took off. It feels like there was more wacky expressions this time and more cartoony episodes this time, and that's not a bad thing. But it feels like the season kind of tries to be way too hard at being funny than anything, and it doesn't feel that great honestly. It's comparable to Face Freeze from SpongeBob season 8 honestly, where the wacky expressions are kind of cool and all, but not very great honestly. But besides that, it's very filler based. And season 6, unfortunately, is middle of the road to me. Honestly, I can see what they were trying to do in the season. That they were trying to make the school less more often. But again, just like season 5, it feels like the characters are just getting really. It feels like this season feels really forced in. Honestly, and I think that the season honestly is kind of better than season 4 and 5, but still not great. Honestly. And the characters also feel just exactly like season 4, not 5, honestly. So, and it's also very mean spirited like season 5, unfortunately. So, yeah, this season is 50% better than those two, but still not great. And honestly, I will be more happy to talk about season 7 in the next retrospective part than talk about this season alone. But let's talk about the writing this time. The writing is exactly like season 5 again, and it's not very great, honestly. Just like season 4 and 5, the writing is not great in this season, honestly, and they feel exactly the same exact seasons, and I kind of mix them up together because all these three seasons have similar ideas of just rehashing old plots or anything like that. And I'm not saying that rehashing ideas is bad and all, but honestly, if you're gonna do season, you must do it correctly, honestly. And unfortunately, this season feels like a downgrade from that. Not saying this season is like completely devoid of good episodes because, I mean, I'm gonna look at my season chart right now. So there were 17 good episodes, 17 bad episodes, and 15 okay episodes. So season 6, man, that's a lot of good and bad episodes together. But honestly, if you combine them together, it makes a lot of episodes a lot. And this season is kind of meh in general. And I know this section will be kind of a little bit long, really shorter than the other two because I don't have much to say on this season as much as season 4 and 5 does. Now, let's talk about the humor in this season. Honestly, it's wacky expressions and wacky. It's very cartoony in this season. Honestly, the style of the season is more cartoony in this season. Like, the bug episode with Len Senior is kind of one of those episodes that is so wacky and so cartoony that it kind of reminds me a lot of Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes and the wacky in modern SpongeBob for some reason. But still, And I do like some of the episodes in this batch because it does have some, because some of the batch, and at least I will say that the good episodes in this season are way better than season 4 and 5 to me, like 50% better. The okay episodes are definitely better, but I think they're kind of mid at this time. Some of them are very mid this time, so I don't have much to really say on. And as for the bad episodes, are not as bad as season 4 and 5 to me, but they're still pretty bad though. But oh, they're bad, but they're not offensively bad in my opinion. But but yeah, season 6 over. I know this will be a short one, but I should mention is that the characters feel more also one dimensional, like in season 4 and 5. So I don't have much to say on. So yeah, and let's talk about the specials real quick, because I have mixed opinions on them. Both of them, I think both save really Loud House, and I think both save Royal Woods and Great Lake Freakout is both perfect episodes in my top 5 of the season. But as for Time Trapped, it's probably my least favorite special of season 6 overall, because the loud siblings are pretty unlikable in this episode. It reminds me a lot of Back to the Past from SpongeBob season 7 to me. So honestly, I don't know why they want to make this one 22 minutes long. Well, you could have made this one 14 minutes long, honestly, if you just cut out some parts of this episode. Or this could have been a TV movie if season 6 had TV movies, of course. But of course, since season 6 has no TV movies, this season is stuck with 22-minute episodes. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And I actually liked, I do like Save Royal Woods, but I feel like it should have been longer than it actually was, because I think it could have been the same length as the Very Odd Parents special, Schools Out the Musical, which is a great episode anyway. I really like that episode anyway, more than Channel Chasers, but you know what I mean. Anyway, um, 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 uh, let's see. I gotta talk about something else. The Christmas episodes. Yeah, this even had a mixed bag of Christmas episodes. Snow Escape was not very good. The other Christmas episode was really good though. Um, yeah, not much to say on this season, honestly, because I think it's just season 5 part 2, honestly. Which that's not saying much, because well, the specials are better in season 6 than season 5 and 4. This season's still not very great. And yeah, overall, as a season of the show, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but honestly, it just kind of mid, very mid, honestly. Honestly, yeah, season 6 is overall the most mid season of the show. Don't hate it, but I don't love it, honestly. And yeah, not a really great season, but it's okay, honestly. So let's just get into my top 5, so I can end off this retrospective with a good note, and a kind of okay note. And I'll talk about and I'll talk about the ranking of the seasons, honestly, from worst to best. Okay, so yeah, so my top 5 are: number 5, Save Royal Woods, Save Royal Woods, which is a great episode. Number 4 is Bumper Camp, which is a really good episode. I really like it. Number 3 is Great Lakes Freakout. Number 2, Love Stinks. And number 1, Present Danger. Present Danger, it was so hyped up as a special in 2022, and I really loved that episode because even though it was not a special, I think this might be the most this might be the most this it may be a ratings trap at first, but honestly, I enjoyed this episode. I do wish it was a standalone episode, honestly, without being a sister episode, or I wish it was 22 minutes long, but honestly, this episode is good enough to be in my amazing tier or 10 out of 10 tier because honestly, this episode is just great, honestly. I don't mind watching this episode again. And honestly, it has a lot of great moments, has a lot of great action sequence, and I think the story also works. So, yeah, this might be the best episode. This might be the best season premiere of the entire show by default. Yeah, in my opinion, at least. So, yeah, that's saying something, guys, honestly. Now, but what about my bottom 5, though? Number 5 is Time Trapped for being a very rushed and feels unfinished and polished episode and should have just been 14 minutes long. Number 4 is Musical Chairs because I really hate how Lincoln gets tortured here, and I don't like this episode a lot because it's just really bad. And I don't like Lincoln's teacher in this episode as much, so that's not good. And Chandler was a pretty bad jerk in this episode, so that's not good. So yeah, it's not very good, honestly. Not a good episode. Number 3 is Snow Escape because I don't like Lynn in this episode, Lynn Jr. in this episode, and I just don't like him, honestly. I don't like her in this episode, honestly. She's way too competitive, and I don't like it, honestly. It reminds me of Snowboard, but honestly worse than that episode, honestly. So yeah, it's not a really great episode. At least the Loud Sisters the other Loud siblings are actually escaping from Lyndon's episode, so that's good. Number 2 is the Hurt but Lockers. This episode really sucks because it has a lot of problems. I don't like the story in this episode, and I don't like how Lincoln's friends get tortured here, honestly. Very bad episode. And number 1 is The Taunting Hour, which is my third least favorite episode of the entire show, in my opinion. I don't hate this episode as much as other people, but I think it's one of the worst episodes the show has ever produced because it's another Lincoln Gets Torture episode, just like number 2 and number 1 of my bottom 15, and both episodes suck in their own way overall. All 3 of these episodes are the bottom of the trilogy of bad episodes of Loud House, honestly. All 3 of them are bad. I don't like them. I hate them. I love them. They're just not very good episodes, honestly. I don't like them. And overall, it's just bad episodes. And this one is just pretty bad, and I don't think I need to explain myself, because I think everyone has already talked about this episode online, honestly. So yeah. I think that ends the season 6 as a whole. So what's my rating of the season? A 5 out of 10, actually. So that's it for season 6, and I'll see if I can finally and I think I finished this retrospective on a good note. Well, actually, I have to talk about the overall season discussion and the overall seasons, but we'll get to there when we get there. If I had to rank the seasons from worst to best overall, or should I say the seasons overall as this point of the show, my order would be so I'm gonna go show my list of the seasons so far, because I know what the seasons will be ranked so far of the show, honestly, because I just know it, honestly. My order would be season 4, season 5, season 6, season 3, Season 1, and finally, Season 2. I know that this retrospective has been me ranting, this part of this retrospective has been ranting about episodes of Season 4 through 6, but honestly, I'm so glad I'm done talking about them because, honestly, these seasons are not very good, and I don't recommend watching them if you're a fan of Loud House, honestly. They may have good episodes in them and okay episodes, but they are definitely not the worth the time if you're really a fan of Loud House, honestly. I think from 2019 onwards is where the Loud House got more popular and has more specials being hyped up ever. With marathons, TV marathons, and marketing, honestly. And some of the 11-minute episodes even got some overhyping as well. So this is kind of something that is coincidence. So, yeah. I think that's it for the retrospective. Also, and I'm so thankful that I will be taking a break from doing this retrospective because this was a long retrospective to do. I'm not gonna lie, and this will be like a very long video. So, yeah, this will be very long, honestly. So, hope you enjoy it. But thankfully, that I'll be taking a break from doing the retrospective until I get to season 10, where the show will, until season 10 airs like a few episodes, then I will be returning to this retrospective. So right now, I'm going to take a break from doing these retrospectives, and because I did the last one in a few days ago, but I feel like if I just take a break from doing them, then I think this will be much better for me. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Cartoon Retro Boy is out, and see you for part 3 in the future when season 9 finished airing, and of course season 10 first airing its few episodes, because there's only one episode to review right now. So yeah, I can't really tell. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cartoon Retro Boys out.